One experience that I really remember was because it is kind of a third world country. Um, you know, things we take for granted, they don't have. One of those things is running water, and it's kind of important. And then in a baptism, you have water, and there weren't a lot of places that we could do a baptism. One of the only places that we could do was in the district center, or kind of like a stake center. Like, it's basically like our normal chapel, but it's like their stake center in a sense for them. That was the only place that had a font at the time, and they had a generator that would run water from a well that they would try to pump through and fill the font. But what would happen, and it happened frequently, but there was this one time where we got there and we had, called, is the font going to be filled? The font going to be filled? Yes, the font will be filled. We get there, the font's not filled. So we're like, okay, well, we can try to fill it. We'll buy time. The generator didn't work. And we have all these people who are getting ready for baptism, and there's no water to perform the ordinance. And so what we all did is we just started to grab, all the missionaries grabbed garbage bins, garbage cans, and any bucket that we could get, and we ran out to the well that was just right there where the water would come from. And we literally filled by hand the font. And it was exhausting. It took, I think, like an hour and a half to, you have this small little garbage can, and you're just trying to fill it up with water, walk back inside the chapel, not in the chapel, walk inside the church, get to the font, pour it in, and then come back, and then, do it all over again. And it wasn't the cleanest water, I'll admit, but it was a very, very spiritual experience for me to see how important, that the ordinance be done right. And it happened many times, and it just became a norm where you're just like, oh, font's broken? Okay, no problem. Let's start to work. So you just started to fill up the font by hand. That was a story I remember very well. Another experience that I had was with one of my companions. He was from the Philippines, and so he was a little shorter, a little smaller. And he was a brand new missionary, so I was his trainer. And it was like our second day together, and we had to take a motorbike to our area. And usually, like, the general kind of rule was the bigger person sits on the back, the very, very end of the motorbike, and then the smaller person sits in the middle, and then you have the driver. But my companion, he's like, no, I want to sit on the back this time. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? And he's like, yes, I'm sure. So I was like, okay. So we get onto the motorbike, and it was just like in like those commercials or like those cartoons where, you have, the car or the motorbike rooms and somebody else goes backwards. That kind of happened to my companion. So I'm sitting down and I feel him behind me, and then all of a sudden the motorbike goes and my companion falls off the back because he's just so small that he can't stay on the motorbike. So he fell off, and I was thinking to my mind, oh great, I've lost my companion. How am I supposed to tell this to my mission president? And then, so we stopped, he came back, I was like, see, I told you. And he's like, okay, I'll stick in the middle. And never again did he ever talk about wanting to sit on the back of the motorbike. He would always go into the middle. So that was a nice teaching moment. I don't think my mission president ever knew about that. If you're watching President Kirkham, that's what happened. Don't worry, he's good.